All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television show in the universe and in the alternate Redwall universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, all three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. And Lord, have mercy upon every single one of us. I have read another Redwall book, Mattimeo, and oh my, if you thought I was confused when I reviewed Redwall and Mossflower, oh, it ain't even a joke. It ain't even started yet. My confusion has spiraled into levels of insanity that you are not going to be able to believe when I give you this review. Because if you've watched those reviews, if you've watched my review of Redwall, which you can do, and all you need to do is type in Redwall and my last name into your YouTube search bar, and the video will magically appear. Same with Mossflower. I had issues with these books because I couldn't understand them. They're not. It's not because the books are difficult to understand. It's not like we're reading Tolstoy here. They're children's books. Children's books. They're the most confusing books I've ever read in my entire life. And after 3 books, I'm even more confused because I know less about what's going on. It's not to say that Brian Jacques isn't a good writer, because these books are written with prose that is absolutely spot on, effortlessly delightful, and the stories themselves are just action-adventure masterpieces. The problem's with me. I can't wrap my head around this world in which animals wear human clothing and run around doing human tasks. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, before we get into the review, let's talk about the cover first, because you know I love graphic design and cover illustration. So these covers were done by, and I've got all of the 21 some odd Redwall books, and they are all done by an artist named Troy Howell, and I think that the design and illustrations on these books are great. I love the way they're just great. All the books are put together. They've got a similar style. They all look really nice on the shelf together. And I'm only showing you these 3 right now. But trust me, they all look really nice together as a set. So, A+ for the publisher for making just a really cool set of books. And these books are really good. I really like these. However, they're about little animals doing little animal things, and maybe I just shouldn't be reading books about little animals that talk and wear human clothes some of the time. It looks like they're wearing some of them are wearing masks and they're naked. Some of them are wearing monk outfits. Some of them are wearing full battle armor. I just don't understand the way the clothing conventions in this world is. Like, some of these guys can get away with just a mask on their face and ass naked everywhere else. Others of the animals are wearing full robes and full clothes and corsets and knights and pirate outfits, and some of them are it's just insanity. And I don't get the way that they're dressing themselves, first of all. And then the little animals. Okay, so let's just talk about how this Orlando the Axe was following the fox. 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 That sentence is repeated 6 times in the prologue of this book, and the prologue is only about a paragraph. Orlando the Axe was following the fox. I have no issues with that. I understand that the author wanted us to know that Orlando the Axe was following the fox. That's fine. Orlando the Axe is a badass character. He's a badger that carries an axe. Thus, he's named Orlando the Axe, and he's following a fox. The fox is named Slagar the Cruel. I love that name, Slagar the Cruel. He is a slave trader, and he goes around to different animal villages and kidnaps different little animals and puts them into slavery because he's just an evil dude. And he has kidnapped Orlando the Axe's young daughter, Alma, A-U-M-A, Alma, And so now Orlando the Axe is following the fox because he wants to get back his young daughter who's been captured by Slagar the Cruel. Now, Slagar the Cruel has a henchman named Vitch. Now, Vitch is a rat, but he poses as a mouse. This is where things get crazy. I mean, this is where my mind just can't figure things out. So, Vitch poses as a mouse so he can infiltrate the mice community and spy on them. But I'm thinking in my own head, mice know the difference between, I don't care if Vitch is wearing just by a change of clothes, but rats, they don't have clothes. That's the thing is, if a regular rat in our world said to the rat community, I am going to go over and live with the mice because I'm going to spy on the mice. And the other rats would be like, whatever you're into, guy, that's fine. And so then he goes to spy. And so he's like 3 times bigger than the other mice. They're not going to fucking notice that. Even if he puts on mouse clothing, which there is no such thing. But anyway, this Vitch infiltrates the mice world. And the mice world just doesn't include mice, though. It includes voles and other things that dig in the ground, which is another problem we're going to get into, things that dig in the ground. And then badgers and voles and weasels and foxes and squirrels and everything. And so all of these characters, it's like they're all living in a medieval feudal society with castles and abbeys and horses and, well, not horses. The horses are gone. There were horses in Redwall. The horses in Redwall were huge human-sized horses pulling human-sized wagons. And on the wagon in Redwall, there was about 500 rat warriors on the wagon, human-sized wagon. But now there's no longer any human-sized anything in this world. All the human-sized stuff is gone. So now the wagons are just normal-sized wagons that would fit the scale of the little animals. And they're no longer pulled by horses, but they're pulled by something called wretched creatures. I don't know what that is. Don't know what it is. We jettison the horses, human-sized horses, out the window with the bathwater. Wretched creatures now. So anyway, where did I go? I've already got off the rail. This book, it's not like I'm reading Tolstoy. It's a children's book about cute little animals. And it's a delightful adventure about cute little animals. But I just can't stop thinking about the scale of these things because the Vitch, the rat, the spy, Slagar the Cruel sends him to spy on the mice. And so he's spying on the mice rather successfully, by the way. Somehow the mice don't notice this big fucker in the midst of them. Dressed all, anyway, he gets stung by a bee. And I'm like, well, the bee, okay, because all the animals talk. But the bees, there's bees and wasps and things and flies and butterflies. You would think that if we're talking about normal-sized animals, a bee to a normal-sized mouse would be the size, it'd be like a Rottweiler sized thing coming. Like if it was me and a bee scale wise was as a mouse and me, and there'd be the size of a pit bull coming at me, like flying at me like a pit bull, just like flying at me with a stinger. And I mean, my God, that would be horrifying. But these animals, they seem to get stung by these bees and wasps all the time. And I'm like, my God, that would be like getting your head chewed off by a Rottweiler, right? Like a bee that size. But the scale, none of the scale makes sense. Because sometimes the bees and the butterflies are huge, but then other times they're squishing beetles with their thumb. There's a scene where a squirrel squishes the beetle with his little thumb. And I'm like, I don't get it. Why are the bees tiny? Are the bees tiny? Why don't they talk? Why does everything talk in English, but except the bees can't talk? It seems like they should be able. Seems like the butterflies should talk, but they don't. And then the squirrels go apple picking, and they're picking apples out of what seems to be like human-sized trees, which would mean to be monstrous to a squirrel, but yet the apples are just bite-sized for the squirrel. I don't understand. And then the voles are digging tunnels, fucking shovels, with shovels. There's drawings. every chapter has a little drawing of a chapter heading of a little drawing, and one of the chapter headings is a mouse or a vole-looking creature digging a tunnel with a shovel. Voles, that's what they dig tunnels. Like they do it with their hand. They don't need shovels. And why does Orlando the Axe, the Badger, need a battle axe? He's a badger. They're meaners, just without axes. They're probably meaner without the axes. How would they? A vole. The voles are digging tunnels under the abbey in shovels. That negates the whole point of being a vole. God damn. If I was the size of a mouse and an actual bumblebee stung me, I would feel like I just got attacked by a Rottweiler. Oh, God. Anyway, I read the book. It's cool. It's pretty fucking cool. I mean, I liked the adventure. You can see Slagar the fox is, again, he's just wearing a mask. Buck naked everywhere else. Meanwhile, the mice are dressed in little vests. No pants. Some of the drawings are of mice in battle armor and stuff, but they're fully. I don't understand where the line between I mean, are you just allowed to flash everybody in this world? Like, okay, I mean, can we get away? Can I go to 7-Eleven in just a mask and nothing else? No, it just wouldn't make sense. And if a badger with an axe is chasing you, wouldn't you want more than just the mask as protection? Even if he doesn't have an axe. I mean, if you woke up in the morning and you buck ass naked, go and there's a fucking rabid badger in your room. I mean, and you're just, I mean, wouldn't, I mean, and you're just, I mean, my God, you just, oh, Lord. What do I think of this book? Matthias the Warrior, his son. Oh, we didn't even talk about Mattimeo, the main guy. Mattimeo is the main hero of this. He's a mouse. He's sort of like a little mouse that goes against his own. He's a little rebel mouse. That's all he is. His father is Matthias the Warrior, who's a great warrior, and he's disappointed in his son Mattimeo. Well, of course, Mattimeo has to get the sword and go on a quest and save everybody from Slagar Slagar the Cruel, the weird fox guy with the mask and the rest of himself naked. Anyway, I'm out of breath. That's a good book. These are really cool books. I don't know if I can say much else. You don't know anything about the plot. You just know that I can't figure out the scale or any of that. I mean, that's all you know about this. That's really about all you need to know.